As one man faces death row for his actions in Utah, another faces criminal charges in Maryland for a crime that's stirring controversy across America. John Anthony Garber was pulled over in Maryland by a policeman for speeding, yet arrested for a totally unrelated offense.
Get off the motorcycle. Get off the motorcycle. State police.
A cop driving an unmarked car wearing no uniform and carrying a gun stops Garber for speeding on his motorcycle. Garber records the confrontation, which is the YouTube video you're watching here, on a camera attached to his helmet. Days later, after the video was posted on YouTube, police got a warrant to search Garber's home and arrested him for violating Maryland's wiretapping laws. Now he faces felony charges in Maryland. It's illegal to record anyone on videotape without their consent. And joining me in the studio, in our Miami studio for more on this, is Carlos Miller, author of the website Photography is Not a Crime. Now, Carlos, this is an interesting thing when you have a photographer or a camera that could be more dangerous than a gun itself, or at least you could face felony charges like Garber is. What do you make of this latest incident?
Well, it's obviously an attempt by the police to just strong-arm this guy, you know, because he did nothing wrong. He did nothing criminal. All he did was expose a cop, an overly aggressive cop, and he embarrassed the cop. And now they're cracked down on him, and it's out of line on the police department for pursuing this charge against him, because the wiretapping law is meant for telephone conversations, not for being videotaped in public when you have no expectation of privacy. Another thing is, Anthony Garber had the camera on his helmet, so it was very obvious he was filming the cop.
Now, it's interesting because in that video footage, it does seem as though the undercover cop is being a bit aggressive. Now, I'm just wondering, I'm sure you're familiar with John McKenna. He was the University of Maryland student who was beaten by some police officers, and it was caught on tape, and in fact, they were using excessive force. So taking away a video camera to catch police officers, whether they're doing something that's fine or not, is it treading on our constitutional rights, and really is it taking us back to the era of no video cameras where police could, get away with these kinds of acts?
Well, yeah, because traditionally the courts will side with the cops. No matter what happened in real life, no matter what really happened during the real incident, the cops will always have that little bit more credibility, even though a lot of times they don't in real life. So the video camera doesn't lie, it shows the truth, and now they're trying to crack down on that. And, in the case of McKenna, like you mentioned, they claimed he assaulted them when the video camera proved otherwise. And if it wasn't for the video camera, he would be facing felony charges. He would be facing prison time right now.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of
different... It's a clear violation of our First Amendment. Well, it really is a clear violation of our First Amendment rights, because numerous courts, numerous judges have ruled that photography and videography is protected by the First Amendment.
And it's interesting because I can't imagine, I shoot myself, I'm also a videographer, and I've shot cops here in D.C. and around the country. I can't imagine my camera being something that's harmful or illegal to use. And so do you think we're going to see something like this all over the country where people with video cameras, with cell phone cameras, with just digital cameras can't use them to shoot a cop, whether he's sitting down or whether he's actually beating someone or engaging in an aggressive act?
No, I don't think we're going to get to that point. I think we're going to get to the point where maybe our lawmakers have to come to a decision and make laws that protect the photographer, that protect the citizen. Because, the cops are filming us. Every time you get pulled over, chances are there's a dash cam filming you. And anytime you walk down the street, there's cameras filming you. I mean, cameras everywhere. They're a fact of life. So they can't tell us, the citizen, not to film. Is unreasonable, and it's unrealistic. So we just have to get to that point, and hopefully the Garber case will shine a light on these incidents that really make it really obvious that we need a law that says, a real definite law that defines that we are allowed to photograph and film cops in public.
So I'm trying to figure out, why are they making it illegal if it's, if they're doing nothing wrong, and if there's, procedural, why are they making it illegal to film cops?
Well, that's the thing is, they are doing things wrong. The only times they arrest people is when maybe they're embarrassed of what they're doing. You know, if you film a cop, you know, doing something heroic, they're not going to arrest you. They're going to promote that. They're going to be happy that you filmed that. They don't want to be filmed beating people up. They don't want to be filmed pulling guns on people during a traffic stop. You know, so that's the problem. You know, so they're the ones that are looking at it. You know, they have to get to a point where they have to basically just go by the law and not act out of line, because they have to be under the impression that they're going to be filmed at whatever time. You know, so that's where we got to.
Right,
but
Carlos,
that's why the camera is very powerful. You know, because it keeps them in check. We need that.
Carlos, you're bringing into this equation police brutality. So without video cameras, will any police officer or any police agency be able to get away with police brutality? And why are cameras a weapon now?
Well, police have been getting away with brutality for years. It wasn't until the Rodney King incident that really shone a light to what police do. You know, and we saw during the Rodney King incident that what many people would not believe that happened. Many people did not want to accept that some cops do beat up people. And, you know, and we saw that even though Rodney King may have been a criminal, you know, he did not deserve to get beaten. The cop's job is to arrest him, handcuff him, and throw him in jail and let him stand before a judge and jury. And that's the system our country has here. You know, they're not the ones who are supposed to decide if he's guilty and beat him up. And so, yeah, you know, and it happens all the time. I mean, you read my blog, you'll see it happens almost every day. And now we're being exposed to it. Now we have YouTube. Everybody has a camera. We're all armed with cameras. And now we're shining light. Now we're exposing what's been going on. And so it's time for the cops maybe to retrain their officers and to be more careful.
That's
out
right.
there.
Well, that's Carlos Miller with Photography is Not a Crime in our Miami studios.